it's Tammy. Well, I've got a lot of different things, I guess, to share today. It's been one of those weeks that actually started the end of last week and has went on into this week so far, but hopefully it's soon to be over. I hope I'm not the only one that seems like things come in waves. And this week it actually feels like it's been more my fault than anything in the first place, and that just makes it even more aggravating. But I made some maple syrup. I had 6 gallons that I had made, and it should have made a little over a pint, but I only got a pint. And tell you what I did. I had it cooked down. I was getting so excited because it only needed to cook just a few minutes longer. And I was watching TV, and I went in there just to see what was going on TV. Wasn't in there 5-10 minutes, and came back in there, and I scorched my darn syrup. It ain't real bad scorched, but you can kind of tell it. But I'm going to use it anyway because that's too much of a process to not use it at all. It don't quite smell like molasses, but similar to molasses. Maybe sorghum. Sorghum, that's what it smells like. That's what it smells like, sorghum. So there I go with that. I made a big boo-boo there. So my biggest point right now as in making maple syrup is when you get close to it being ready, stay with it. Don't walk away for 5-10 minutes to watch TV for a second because, yeah, I was so mad at myself. Anyway, I actually done a bunch of different clips. I canned beans this week again. I canned 28 pints week before last, then I canned another 28 pints this week. Actually, I broke some of that up into quarts, but if you broke it up into pints, it would be 28. So that's 56, so that'll get us through the year on beans. I always do that in the winter because I don't want to shell a bunch of beans like that, so I just go and buy them at the store and can them that way, and I do it in the winter because that way the house it's wintertime and it don't matter as bad and all that kind of good stuff. Another thing that happened this week, Sunday night, I lost a hen to being egg-bound. I'm sorry, I can't think today. Egg-bound, and I doctored on her for 3 days, 3.5 days, something like that, and thought that I'd be able to get her recovered, but she didn't recover, and she ended up passing away up in the night. I done the magnesium, I done the calcium, just so everybody knows I did everything that I've always learned to know to do. And she was a narrow hen anyway, so I don't know if it just made it that much harder for her to pass it or what, but she didn't pass it. And then this morning I went out, and apparently one of my hens didn't get up last night. I should have counted them. I just normally don't count them. Usually chickens are really good about going up. And went out there this morning, and there's feathers everywhere. So one of my other hens got taken by something last night. I'm going to stick my trail cam down there at the barn tonight, the chicken coop, and see what it is, because I'm sure it'll probably come back tonight. I'm figuring it's a big coon. We got some big buck coons around here. It could have been a coyote, but usually if it's a coyote, the dogs really go off a lot, and I didn't hear that last night. So, I don't know. But there I did it again. I messed up again. So that just stinks. It's really a bummer. My little ducks is keeping me going. Lori from Whippoorwill Hollow, she was telling me that her grandkids is going through the flu, and my grandkids are going through the flu. So they haven't even got to come and see the ducks yet. And they've kind of kept me lively having them to deal with because it just seems like it's been. And there's a couple other things too that's more on a note that, I wouldn't say a private note, but just things that in life that you plan and you think it's going to go one way, and then they don't go the way you think they're going to go. I've had a couple of those things happen in the past week and a half. It's just been one of those weeks, 2 weeks, whatever. So I don't want to go on a down note because I'm not a down person, but at the same time, you know, we all have life. We all have situations that happen, and so I just want to be real about that. But something I had made a couple Mod Podge videos throughout the week. I actually done one over the Canon, and it's hard to do a Canon video without it being forever long. So I just probably put a picture on here where I got those last ones done. I had put one on Instagram when I done my last ones, but I'll put one on this set of Canon that I did. Another thing that I did, I had done a clip about cleaning out my cage for my ducks, and I wanted to share, which I had done a clip on it, but I want to do it this way, that way it's shorter. But I keep these little jars, and they've got a lid on them that I drilled holes in the top of them. And I have baking soda in here, probably 1/4 cup of baking soda. And then I put some essential oils in there. And with this one here, I've got lemongrass. It's a really strong fragrance. And so I like to use lemongrass a lot, especially in the spring and summer. And I use a fork, and I just kind of mash it up in there and make it kind of like you would shortening in flour. And mash it up in there real good. And set it in there next to the duck pen. And it helps pull the odors out and deodorizes everything in there good. And then after I get done with that, which I've got about 3 of these in different places at my house that I keep to help pull odors out. And if you don't have the essential oils, you can still use the baking soda itself and it'll help pull odors out. But after I get done doing that, then I've got this bottle. See, it says Sink Scrub. I've got this, I think it was a Comet bottle that I had a long time ago. And I just pop the lid off of it, and I pour my spent baking soda into this, and I use it to scrub my sinks. And it'll still have a little fragrance to it. And this one smells like eucalyptus and lemongrass, because that's the 2 I use the most. Sometimes lavender. And I use that to scrub my sinks, and then I just refill this up and redo it. And therefore, it's a double duty. Nothing gets wasted. I really like it. It works good. But other than that, guys, I think that's about it. Let's see, that, my beans, my critters that's passed away. I still have a couple things in the works that I don't want to mention just yet. So, all any of you praying people, if y'all would say a prayer or two, just that things will go smooth and there will be no roadblocks, especially if they're not supposed to be a roadblock. And I think that's it. But I want everybody to have a joyous week, exciting week, be encouraged. I don't want to leave on a down note by no means. That's something that I was worried about with making this video, was not leaving a down note, because I do not want to leave a down note at all. Things will look up. It seems like a lot of times when things go down like that, then it turns around the next week or 2, and so I'm just looking forward to seeing things get better. And it will. And I mean, I've had it made compared to so many people in the world today, so I'm not in a place of complaining. I don't want to come off that way. I hope I'm not, because I don't, because I have got it made in so many ways, guys. And I guess that's it. Forgive me if I do feel like I'm being a downer, Debbie Downer today. I don't want to be. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great week. And spring is almost here, people. Praise God. One more note, guys, before I forget about it. I meant to, I always worry about time with my videos, because I try to keep them short as I can. But I don't do a very good job of it, really. But I didn't mention when I done my dandelion video to be sure that you get your dandelions from a source that's not toxic in any way, you know, that yards hasn't been thrown a bunch of fertilizers and different things on, pesticides, whatever. And, you know, in areas that's non-toxic, you know. Look what I found in the hay feeder. I know exactly who did it too. Because when she first started laying eggs, it was when we first moved over here. Well, not long after we moved over here. And she was confused, just like the other ones. And she started laying her eggs in the feeder. And lo and behold, she's still laying eggs in the feeder. Guess I'm gonna have to start checking the feeder, huh? About the Berea chicken guys in my compost pile. I lost one this week. She was egg bound, and I doctored up on her for 3 days, or actually 4 days, and she died the next night. There's more of my shovel there. And the good thing about it is, when you put your animals like that in your compost, they're still a part of your property, you know. They'll always be a part of the property. They serve the purpose up to the end. Listen and you'll hear one of my most favorite sounds.